Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. You are going to be just with me today, so I'm pretty excited about that. And of course, Winston the dog is also here and is also with us in this episode. In this conversation today, I'm going to be bringing you 5 ways to set yourself up to win at therapy. And can we be real? Is where nobody ever talks about this. You never get a list of 5 things you can actually do to be good at therapy. So that's what we're going to address today. That's what I'm going to give you today is 5 very, very easy and practical things to do that will help to set you up for an incredible therapy experience. All right, let's do this. Let's dive in with number 1. Do your research. Here's what I'm talking about. When we get to the point where we are going to either start or continue on this path of healing and growth and transformation, is we need different teachers, different helpers to come into our life at different seasons. And that's really how I look at the idea of therapy or the idea of getting help, is realizing we're not meant to do this journey alone. We're not meant to walk through this alone. And it's really, really hard when we choose to do that. One, because we're not really able to see everything. It's like if we were looking at a picture and we had it right up close to our face, it's really hard for us to get a full expanded view of what is actually going on because our view of it is so narrowed in and it's so small, so focused. The power of having someone walk beside you through your life and in your journey is it allows for different perspectives. It opens things up so that we can look at whatever is going on or how you're showing up in your life in different ways. And sometimes we really need people to call us out on our stuff, if we're totally honest. Of course, we see it our way. And a lot of times we believe that our way is the only correct way. And that's not true, right? That is not true. Is that sometimes we need that ego check. Sometimes we need somebody to be very, very straightforward and honest with us to say, can you see what's actually going on here? Or maybe you could look at it in this way. And we need that accountability. We need that gut check between both of us to say, yeah, maybe I'm not seeing it this way. That's what's really powerful in this therapeutic type relationship. So as you do your research, this is where this all starts to begin. The very moment that you type in someone's website, or maybe you click on their social media, or you see them on YouTube, this becomes the beginning of the relationship. You are getting to know who this person is. You're getting to hear their voice. You're getting to see them. You're getting to get an idea of who they actually are. And it's really important for you to do this because, for one, why would you not know who you are going to work with? I don't even know that I've ever selected a Netflix show or something to watch without either reading what the content is about or hearing about it from some other person or seeing it all over somewhere and being curious about it. Is we never go into these things blind. Why would we do that with our therapy experience? Would we just blindly go into something without knowing who or what or how they're about? So take the time. There are a lot of incredible therapists out there, and there are ways to do this research. Start at their website. Sometimes we kind of forget about it because we get so wrapped up and immersed in the social media experience, but there's a lot of information out there on people's websites that will start to immerse you into who they are as a practitioner, what they like to do, how they like to work with clients. This will be the beginning of you starting to get to know that person. It's kind of like looking at a menu at a restaurant as you start to get an idea of what the different options are. As I mentioned before, for sure, take a look at their social media. See what they're about. How do they show up? And the other big thing I think is to look at what other people are saying about them. What are their Google reviews saying? What are other reviews coming up in other places? Or maybe you were referred to this person by somebody that you know. Is what do people say about their own experience? That I think is so valuable in this therapeutic world, or seeking out a helper for where you are in life, is how did it go for someone else? Because we trust each other, right? So ask around, look at what people are saying about who you're going to work with. The other really cool thing is there are many therapists out there that offer these consultations, and they're often usually at no charge to you, and they're like no strings attached. It's basically giving you the time with your practitioner to get to know them, to hear their voice, or maybe you even get to see them on a video call. But you get to know who they are and you get to start to ask these questions. I really love consultations because it's like that first getting to know you. It helps me to get a picture of who you are and to understand what you want to work with. And it's amazing how, which leads me into the second point, is when I'm on the phone with people for these consultations and I say, awesome, what drives you to this place? What are you wanting to work on? What are things that you're seeing show up? And there can be a lot of times where people say, I don't really know. I just know that I want to do this. Totally fair and totally valid. But I want to see if I can expand this and open this up for you in some ways. Is start getting really detective like or curious about how your life is going now. So I want you to look at your behaviors. I want you to look at your relationships. I want you to look at these areas within your life that you may have things going on that you may not even be aware of. For one, how is sleep going for you? I can't tell you how many times that I've heard from people that they don't sleep, or they sleep only for a couple hours, they can't fall asleep, whatever. Like, sleep is a massive issue for people. I'm telling you that this is a symptom of a bigger problem. There's something else going on that's causing you to not be able to sleep. And so start there. Start very basically. How is your sleep going? Also, look at how are your relationships. If you and your spouse, or you and your significant other, or even you and your kids are constantly at each other's throats all the time, or man, home always feels like just stressful. It's like, what do you think that's about? Obviously, something is going on there. There's some kind of bigger issue to that. How about the way that you choose to spend your money? This is a big one that people really don't like to dive into, is what's your relationship to money and how are your finances going? Because that's a massive growth area and worth exploring as well. So what I'm getting at here is that come with something. Come with some ideas, come with some behaviors, come with some things that you're noticing within your life, some patterns maybe. And then we can dig it down from there. A good therapist will help you look at the bigger picture of what's going on, not just these very specific things. So you don't need to have it all perfectly hashed out, typed out, all that kind of stuff. But just coming with some general ideas can be really, really super helpful in the context of seeing your therapist. Number 3, so important, and what I would really love for you to understand and finally get on board with is that therapy is not just for the crappy times. It's not for just the times when you're in an incredible amount of trauma, stress, or burnout, but it's really meant to be used globally in all different areas of your life, like we just talked about, but in all different seasons of your life as well. So even though you may not have a lot of that critical mass type stuff going on, there can still be things within your life where you're like, you know what, I would really like to do this in a different way. I would really like to set the behavior where I get up early and I go work out, or I get up early and I go, meditate or have my quiet time, or whatever it is. I'm preparing for a leadership role coming up, or maybe I'm going to be a new parent. Any of those things. It doesn't have to just be the hard stuff. It can be any area of your life that you want to grow, or you want to expand or improve, or you just want to get to know more about who you are. Therapy can be so incredibly helpful for that. So, do me a favor, don't just buy into this idea that therapy only needs to be used because I'm broken or I feel like I need to fix something, which that in itself is something to address as it is in therapy. Number 4, come with your willingness. A lot of times I think we overthink this process. We think that, okay, things need to get to a certain point to where they're bad enough, or where my relationship is on the brink of divorce, or I am so in the dark that I can't see anything else. Is that we don't need to get to that point. We don't have to hit that point or have it be so terrible. That's when we finally choose to reach out. All you need to do is come with this willingness. And what I'm speaking to here is the willingness of making the phone call, the willingness of sending an email, the willingness of reaching out and just trying. All you need to do is that. I'm telling you, out of all these things I'm giving you today, that is the number one thing that's going to set you up for an incredible therapeutic experience. If you have the willingness, if you are willing to sit with what's going on, if you are willing to be radically accountable with yourself, that's all you need to make the shift happen. It's not like a magic Harry Potter wand scenario, or it's not like this one time coming, it fixes everything type mentality. It's just the willingness to show up, the willingness to be there. And trust it. Trust the process. You don't have to have it all worked out. I've hear a lot of the times people will say to me when I'm sitting with a client is like, I don't know how to really verbalize this, or I don't know what words to say, or I don't know what I'm feeling. And that's totally fair. That's why you're here, is you don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to have read your 25 self-help books, but you just need to come with this willingness to be able to sit with yourself and sit with what's going on and be willing to let it go. Now, number 5, and probably the most important, and the one that I think trips people up the most, is you are going to have to be committed to this process. And yes, it is a process. So this is not going to be a one session fixes everything. One experience fixes everything. And man, I'm seeing this more and more come up with people, is that they think that, one experience with this type of therapy or this modality or whatever, this fixes everything. And I'm here to tell you that that's not the case. One time is not going to address and fix everything. And you know why? Because we didn't just get to the place where we are now overnight. This has been a collection of memories, a collection of beliefs, a collection of emotions over the course of time that have got us to the place where we are now. And you have to be okay with, you need to get it out of your mind that it's a one and done type thing. And I know that there are a lot of powerful stories out there, and there's a lot of incredible transformations, but I promise you, it's not just a one and done type scenario. You need to be willing to commit to the process. You need to be willing to say, okay, this is important for me. I am important. This is a priority, just like the other things I do in my life to take care of myself. Commit to the process. That is going to require your energy. It's going to require your time, and it's going to require your resources. And if you are not okay with, you're not willing to do it, then now might not be the time for you. And do yourself justice to say, okay, I am not sick enough of my suffering. Or maybe I actually do get something out of having my problem that is keeping me where I am. I encourage you to really be accountable to yourself. Like, be okay to reconcile that within yourself and to just admit where you are. The worst thing I think you can do is to come into a therapy session and to not be in that place. So if you're just showing up to either check the box or to kind of dabble in the kiddie pool area, that's not really going to get you very far and kind of a waste of time for everybody. If you're willing, if you want to actually do the work, if you want to actually transform your life and be free of these things that are not allowing you to be free, then show up, then be here. Commit to the process and say, like, yes, I am a priority. Yes, this is going to take sacrifice within my life. But honestly, I get kind of tired of hearing that excuse come from people that I just don't have the time or I don't have the money or whatever it is like that. Can you just be real with yourself that that's just an excuse? Like, that's just an excuse. And if you just said it's not the right time, at least you're being honest with yourself and you're being honest with your therapist. But to give it this stupid mask to put on it of these things, it's just not helping anything. And so I really just challenge you to just be really honest with yourself. When we look at the commitment piece is start small. It doesn't have to be this, oh my gosh, I got to commit to a year of this and blah, blah, blah. Give it a couple of months. Say even 3 months, I'm going to invest in myself in this area and then see what happens. Reevaluate. And maybe it's 6 months. I don't know. Find what works for you. But I'm telling you, you have to be committed. It's not a panacea. It's not a one session fixes all type thing. That you have to be willing to do this. I always tell people when I start working with them is I'm all here for you. I'm all in. I will help give you as much as possible. Take what you like, leave what you don't. It's totally good. But I am not going to work harder than you on your own mental health. That is not my role. That I'm still a human on my own journey. I still have stuff. I still have to show up for myself. I'm sure as heck not going to take your load on and do the work for you. No one is going to do the work for you. You must commit. You must be willing to commit to yourself and commit to doing it for you because you know that you're worthy. You know that you're a priority and you know that this is important for you. So don't expect that. Don't expect someone else to come in and fix you or make it better for you. You're going to have to do this for yourself. Now, I hope that all 5 of those things were really helpful for you. And like I said, my goal is to set you up for success. I want you to walk into your therapy session feeling confident, knowing, being actually really excited. Even if it's hard, great. But be excited to do the work because you know that the cost of admission is worth this. I promise you that no matter how difficult the journey is, it is totally worth it. And when you start to experience this freedom, this liberation that comes with doing this work, that when you show up for yourself, there is no price tag to that. And it's so important for us to be able to do this, to focus on our own spiritual, mental, physical health, all of that combined together, the whole package, because it actually gives us more capacity to show up for others. It is no longer this sacrificing of self, this being a martyr, or putting everyone before you. It's putting yourself as a priority so that you can show up for others. You can do your job and do it in an incredible way. You can be an incredible spouse, an incredible parent. You can actually be present and enjoy life. When is the last time that you did that? There's a question for you. This is so much bigger than just setting up a 60-minute session and going in to talk to somebody and sitting on a couch and maybe having a couple snacks. We're talking about an incredible, life-changing relationship that I promise will change everything for you. So go out there, do your research, come with something to work on. Know that this isn't just for the tough times, but be willing to do the work and just be committed to the process. You got this. I believe in you and I'm cheering you on. And I'm always here for you if you need anything. Drop some questions in the comments below. Let me know how you like this, or maybe it's a different way of looking at things for you, but give me some feedback. Let me know if this was helpful for you. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe, especially go check out our YouTubes because we're doing video and it's fun, it's cool. So go out there and check out our YouTube and get interacted with us. We are so glad that you're here and incredibly thankful for your support. Now, go out there, take care of yourself, make yourself a priority, and have a really incredible day.